Hey guys, how are you? Yes, it's me, it's me, it's me. Make sure it's loud enough. Can we hear? Let's check that mic. Is it loud enough? Give me a shout out if you sign on and are in. Give me thumbs up. Check. Whoop. We want to keep that certainly on. I am hoping it's loud enough. Are we loud enough? So, cryptos. Man, oh man. My bear bias remains, and I am feeling it in my waters, sweaty palms. David, Flip Patriot, how are you? Thank you for this audio confirmation. I am feeling very, very tentative about the crypto markets. I think it's about a spill. I think there's a big, big move. So let's just go through it with you. What's been happening? We've been squeezing. We've had a huge blow off, the huge come down, then the rallies. Each rally has got successively lower, and lower. I'm wondering if I can screen share on this. It's the first time doing this funny business. So I'll get better at it as we move along. But the key aspect is that we've been squeezing along the tops. You hear those beeps? Oh my God, those are all my trading view alerts triggering right now. We are probably binning it right now on the BTC USDs. I've been watching this. We're in inverted HVFs. By the way, tonight webinar, blow your mind. The formula for success in trading, how to play defense and stay in the game, how to then max when markets sell off, why the big money is going to be made on the short side, guys. Coming up, the big money is going to be made. This is going to be transgenerational. Learn to short. Most people can't ever make money in bad markets. The economy, the ever highest valuations ever in equities, that's had its little sell-off and getting its relief rally that we predicted on the NASDAQ. All of these things will come and have multi-generational sell-offs. Eventually, the government will be buying them for fractions of the price because there'll be the boomers are all just drawing their money out, living on 60% of the money. I've done all this in other YouTubes, but cryptos right now, first a smash down before there can be an alternative to the central banking cartel. I am seeing for Bitcoin a real hard sell-off, guys, a real hard sell-off. I still feel that we're going to trade through the 4 mark. We're going to hit a 3 number on crypto. Neo is the sickest dog in town. It's turning green. And then you've got Ethereum. It's going to go down with it. And you've got BCH. BCH is going to spill like a monster. Yep. Crypto was a psyops, a scammer. Can't wait for the sell-off. Yes. Make your money on the short side. There will be a buying time again, guys. This is not hate all crypto, just slam it down, all of that. I have a laugh. I'm doing a webinar about guys that, the shorters have killed the market and all of that sort of nonsense. I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. And what do you think of the inverted returning to funnel yesterday? Binance, oh my God, we had this little micro setup that's just been in and it broke earliest. Now, this is the biggest natural exchange. Ignore BitMEX, which is a derived exchange. That is the biggest actual exchange, and it's stepped through its line. I'm going to try something. If I disappear, I'll come back. This is all rookiedom in the making. So let's just see. By the way, the shorts are going down at the key moment and the longs are rushing in. Oh my God, I'm going like, what are you guys thinking, man? This is perfect. The extreme shorts has been my one worry. They're drifting away. They're taking some profits and thinking that's all we're going to get. This is as good as it gets. And the longs are going, this is it, bargain basement time. You know, they're going to have a pain game. And they're rushing back in. So let's just, I'm not sure if you're going to get to see charts. I'm going to have to work this out. I wanted to do a live. But it is insane what I'm seeing. When you get occasional moments, I don't know if you've experienced this when you're trading, you get occasional moments where you feel clarity, quite a high level of complete clarity. Now, those are potentially extremely dangerous, actually, because you always can be wrong. And when you feel certainty, you're almost certainly wrong. When you feel certainty and you speak in absolutes, you're almost certainly wrong. When you feel clarity, there's a slight difference. It feels like a lot of the dots are joining up and it makes sense. And you keep asking yourself, could I be wrong? Could I be wrong? But that's falling into place. That's falling into place. So you're actually in a different mindset. You are utilizing the mindset of always test the hypothesis, seek to disprove, and you start to still feel clarity. What we've been seeing on the altcoin market cap, that looks like it's about ready to absolutely vomit off the roof right the way down a very steep hill. And then we take a look at, wow, let's just have a look. Now, I've said, by the way, on BTC, and those buyers are just wading in the shorts. It's getting bigger. The longs are getting longer as the chart gets crapper. That is insane. We're getting a little bit of a buy the dip now, but we've touched the 6.2 level again, guys. We are touching the 6.2. So anyone who's followed one of my clips, we have spoken before about the soft floor. We've spoken about the 6 grander, the 7 grander, and then you've got your 6.8, your ceiling, your soft ceiling, where you have your little, you shove your suitcase and a little bit of a raft, and then you get your 6.2 and a bit of a floor before the, the rats area. That's where the rats live, and that's where the dust and the attic collects, between the 6.8 and the 7. And when you're having those areas, we keep knocking on that 6.2. I've said the 6.2 is critical, but now it's got a little bit of a variance. Which exchange are we talking about? Since the Bitfinex premium and pump on the Tether scam, etc., 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 we've got some exchanges and others. What we've actually been seeing is that premium has been closing slightly, but still not fully. But it has been closing slightly, and now we're seeing more skitterish just down to the downside. And it's no longer about this Tether argument. Actually, they burnt a whole bunch of Tether. They said, we're receiving money, people have sold the Tether, we killed the coins. So who knows? Maybe there's a stinky fish there, maybe there isn't. Let's have a look at what some of you are just commenting while we are going through. Volume is low, but it can get higher. Volume is low and it can get higher, and the people are charging in to buy at the wrong place. They've been taught by the 6,000, 6,200, it's your volume basket. And it could be. And I can be 100% wrong. If I'm inaccurate on this, guys, I'm going to be completely inaccurate. And guess what? It costs the same. It costs the same when you hit a stop loss. You may as well be smashed through your stop loss, providing it gets filled at the correct label. But I'm certainly feeling real softness. What stable coin should we hide in? Do you trust Tether? Tether's the one that keeps getting picked out. So I would say use anything else, preferably have full fiat. It's one of the reasons I've got a little bit more into Kraken, not the highest volume exchange, not the nicest platform, but you get real USD. It's funny to talk about real USD. It's that fiat rubbish. But in this environment where there's that uncertainty about fiat, it's slightly more stable. Hey, BG, nice to say hello. Elliott Wave interpretation call for 5,000. We're a sub 4. We're seeing 3.6 on Kraken. We're seeing 3.7s on different exchanges. So there's slight variances in the geometry, so they won't all be aligned at the bottom. If BTC is at 2K, can you imagine how much Litecoin and ETH will be? We're seeing double-digit ETH potentially, and we're also seeing NEO to a single digit. So there'll be some exciting stuff that will be on the webinar. As I say, the formula to success: first, why you play defense, then the benefit of also going short when everyone else can be long only trader, the absence of method. Don't miss the webinar tonight. We'll give you that wealth building formula and each individual trade building formula. I'm literally finishing off the slides now. By the way, many of you are going, but you're so expensive and you've got such a elite special program, I can't do it. I'm not there yet, but I'd love to get some of the skills. I can see there's something to HVF method. You're just too big a stretch for me. Guess what we're doing? We will be doing a self-study with a small amount of interaction. You'll get to attend a non-farm, and there's going to be a first-off offer. I don't think I'm going to do this again. Come tonight for the webinar, guys. Come tonight. And it seems like it's Bitcoin's 10th birthday today. Wow. What a time for a slap in the face. Happy birthday, mofo. Whoa. Isn't that funny? We'll see. We'll see if it happens. It could do ask about face, and then we'll be all, oops, got that one wrong. I could be totally wrong as ever. But the setups are bearish. NEO, bearish and ugly. I'll go through my favorites on them, some of which I've mentioned for the shorts. If you pop along, come in and see us. Someone expects ETH to recover before BTC, possibly. it seems like it's still the case that Bitcoin has to give everyone else permission to recover. We have seen some divergence. You're going to hate me for saying this, and I'm going to hate myself for saying this, but actually, we've seen most divergence out of the likes of XLM and XRP, Ripple. The control structure is going to make these bitches fly, and there's not a great deal we can do about it, guys. That's my take. If you follow my reset sniper, these guys are never going to let you have your own money. The guy who first started and did e-gold, he got put in jail. He got put in jail in the US, and he had an ounce for everyone. They found a criminal trumped up charge saying, trying to offer a fiat, whatever, this law, that bylaw, and chucked away the key, stuck him away for a very long time. And that also created the interest in crypto. But the crypto, I think from the beginning, it's been a contained bag. They know they're going to roll the whole fiat malarkey. They know they need a parallel system. You know, if the one railway line is breaking up, you got to keep using it for now, but you do the new, Elon Musk train alongside it with the hyperglide. This is the new thing. And they track you. The ledger, it's all about tracking you. It's all about control. It's all about knowing everything, maximum extraction, and they control the money again. And these coins with huge pre-mines, that's fiat, man. And forks and reasons to double and split and create new coins. It'll be QE by another name. They'll be able to, as this huge bubble of trillions all come in to crypto at some point when they pull the plug, they'll be able to expand that. I still think we will get outlier gains. But it's going to come down to assessing relative strength and where's the best money going to be made. Buy it up, boys and girls. It's dropping, he says. Buy it up, says Casey. Yeah, it's dropping, but you've got to be careful about catching that falling knife too soon, fellas. You got to be careful about catching that knife too soon. I do not feel it's in your interest necessarily in the current technical environment to storm in. I can always be wrong. We could find that the 6K and the 62K keeps being protected. I'm looking at the charts as I speak, but it seems I'm still recording on the same browser. The Binance one has spat a bit lower. Now we're starting to see more volume. I have to say, Binance, big exchange, not yet the scale of the spill that we got on the 29th. So we've had two spills, but they come in a little bit too thick and fast. Could it be the final bears getting out before we get a major pump? It could. And as I say, it could be brutal. So if you get too short and you don't have money management, you don't have a method, you're going to get a kick in the ass. Don't get greedy. Don't say, shit, he's in. I may as well be in. I don't want to be the only one not at the ball, etc., etc. Looking at the Kraken chart, Kraken 3,600s, just above the 3,600s is the downside target if this does what we expect it to do. Bit of a hammer now at the moment. So this little spill that's got us all excited and jumping on and doing a YouTube live for the first time, little bit of a hammer, but you can go into a little rising wedge. And it's often the second that can be the biggest. When you have the real big sell-offs, you first get the test, the rally, and then the proper spank. It's kind of like that person who's looking for a fight with you. He doesn't run in and throw his haymaker right from the get-go. He comes up to you and pushes you on the chest and tests what's reaction. And you go, hey, I don't want to fight. I'm really just cool. I love you. That's when he canes you because he knows he's going to win and you're a pacifist. And it's kind of like that a bit in markets. Test, reaction, go. And there's a little bit of possibility for that. Once again, as said, can't say for sure. So Mitch is going lols. He likes those analogies. Watch for a falling wedge on FUSD. Falling wedge, FUSD. Let's run it by the FUSD. The FUSD is not a falling wedge for me. It's continuation patterns with squeezes that spill. Continuation pattern, squeezes, spill. Continuation pattern, squeeze, still. It's a staircasing. It's staircasing. And then when you get a few of those together, it forms a cluster that is a large macro inverted HVF style structure. And the volatility of extreme lows, I've seen the tweets, guys have said 8 out of 8 times when we're this low, we go up. Maybe. But I think there was one actually on that tweet that didn't. 7 out of 8 times they go up. It depends on the trend. It depends on what you still think the trend is. Have we properly bottomed? generally you make a series of rounding lows and a rounded bottom. So marginally lower low, marginally lower low, until you stop making marginally lower lows. You get a lot of hammers along the way, and you get a bowling effect. When you get triangles for the uninitiated, inverted HVFs, low volatility squeezes, it's continuation. The game is often continuation. By the way, this is on Crypto Sniper, but I'm gonna talk to you about one or two other things. And the alerts are still going off. We set a couple of traps. BCH, wow, what a nice looking little short this bugger is. And you can still get reasonable volume on BCH. You can build a little position. This is a minor little stab through out of what I'd probably call a bear flag. I'll post this chart. We'll cover a little bit more of this on webinar in detail tonight, plus that big offer. Very low price for a different kind of person who can't make it into the full trading metamorphosis. We're trying this for the first time. I may only do this once. We've got a lot of good quality TMP guys. So we parked up the TMP product for a while, and we're going to do groom the future generation. You can come and get groom. Oh, that's a dangerous word, isn't it? I'll have a little field down there. No, I won't. You're on the other side of the planet. You're safe. Not that kind of guy. What we'll do is you'll be able to get the method and study at your own rate for 3 months, access to the materials, boom, get boned up on HVF method, and then you'll be able to come to your own conclusions. I drop dead, you'll have a skill of a lifetime. Plus, we're going to do for 3 months, you'll get a non-farm and one webinar. So you'll get a bit of interaction and a chance to jump in. So you can have a sniff of what our full trading metamorphosis program guys get. And maybe if you like it, you can go more. We've had people that have done self-study before and made money on the self-study and bought their way into the full program. Anyway, enough about that. You didn't come on for that and to be sold to. What about Ripple? Even Ripple's going a little bit down, but far more contained. What else have we got? The overall market is very sketchy. Guys are saying, so let's just park crypto for a second and say, let's talk about bonds. Bonds, what are bonds? Government debt and corporate debt. And now you've got 14% of equities in the S&P 500 that have to borrow to pay interest on what they've already borrowed. So they forced borrowers. This is you forced to take out new credit cards to make your payments on your existing credit cards. You know how that one ends if you've ever been anywhere close to that. These corporations just get bigger lines of credit for now. But what starts happening when they bump the interest rates are out, note how quickly oil that was making higher highs, and we're saying, look, if this continues and starts heading to 90, it's going to really squeeze the economy. We've got a nice upside. HVF make its target. Since then, spanked down. Bond rates up. There is no scope for real interest rates in this environment again. The debt is too huge. Everyone starts getting squeezed. You feel it. You feel that there's less purchases. Next thing you're getting Amazon, one of the most perfectly set up corporate consumer selling outlets that has destroyed the high street, giving warnings, giving warnings on how much money they're going to make. How about that? So how well does that end when you've got corporations that instead of doing new plant, new product to launch better ways of doing new, better product, are so financially engineered that the best use of their money is to go and borrow more money super cheap and buy up their own stock? How's that productivity and how does that last? I'll tell you how this goes. It goes like the Japan model. And I referred to this in a previous YouTube. You haven't all seen it. But essentially what ends up happening is you get the run up in the stock market price that you get. In Japan, the Nikkei went to 40,000. The one piece of land, the empire, the emperor's palace, whatever the case may be, I think was worth more than all of Manhattan, just alone, and it was like a couple of acres. And then you have a major bust. The demographics work against us. I mentioned the boomers, Harry Dent and all of that stuff. I've spoken about property bubbles, referred to the Aussie and the New Zealanders. They kind of skipped through 2008 a little bit light because they had Chinese people moving into Aussie and New Zealand. They had China buying all their commodities up, so they missed that one. Now they're getting lent on. Now they're back. Their banks in our community. We're talking about the Australian banks in inverted HVF setups, giving us technical signals that they're going down. Now the articles all start coming about how it's coming off. You're seeing London coming off. You saw the article about the guy who used to work for Goldman Sachs, where they say it's 1.9% down. He's trying to buy in at Blackheath, in an affluent area, a flat that he was offered 450,000 in April of this year. He can have for 375 now, and is back on the market and isn't selling. That's more than 1.9%, to the uninitiated. So these stats can lie a large degree. What it means is it's down 5 months down on the Schiller index in the States. 5 months down on the property market Schiller index in the States. The shorters will have their day. Let's be frank. Since I've been around, my brother was an actuary. He was a bond trader, ended up a bond trader, and he was net long his entire career. He started in 1982, and he's been net long, and bonds have gone from 21% interest, so that's really low value. And as the rates go down, the value of the bonds go up. It's been one long bond bull. You're talking about a 35, 45 going on immense amount of time, one-way bet. And it doesn't go like that forever, chaps. It doesn't go like that forever. We're going to have to reset. That's when the cryptos will have their moment. But first, they're going to get cleaned out. Guess who's buying when it hits 3.6 and 3,500? All us retail monkeys have been shaken out on the usual standard volatility gains these guys pull. They pick up all the chips at the bottom of the table. That is the freaking game, man. That's how they shake everybody out. That's why you've got to check it out. You've got to see what they're doing and then know the cycle. That's why, and in one of my most enthusiastic moments, I said, never short crypto. I was wrong. Never short crypto in the bull market was what I meant to say. When the bear market comes, hey, make sure you make some money and stay engaged in the game, because you'll be first to flick long when it really does become the new currency. So let's have a look at what some of you guys are saying. The comments are coming thick and fast. Thanks for your participation. Tell me if you dig this kind of a forum, which is kind of live and an opportunity to interact direct. I'm quite happy to do it a little more often. I'll be moving back to Australia when I can get a cheap house there. Absolutely. Go buy the Sydney Opera House, mate. Nicholas Beasler, Backed will be purchasing liquidity ahead of the 12, bro. He's spot on. Backed is such a control structure entity, guys. Man, they've injected themselves like the Trojan horses they are. The extractors, the rental extractors and the owners have seized it. They've said, kids, get out of the playroom. The big boys have arrived. They've slapped all the babies and thrown them out the window, and they're sitting and playing with all the toys. They own the shop again. I'm afraid the notion that we can escape, you might say, oh, that's such a depressing message. Well, live in an illusion if you like, but actually you can, providing you understand the matrix, you can exploit it to your best outcome for the lifestyle that you can get. You can only take account for the lifestyle of yourself and your children. Pass on the wisdom, make them smart to the game, get them to understand cycle, and create transgenerational wealth so that they have a better quality of lifestyle and discipline. Because otherwise they get rich and they get high, and then you just get the 3 generations shirt sleeves to shirt sleeve cycle. You need to pass on the gems. You need to invest in them mentally. The greatest asset is actually the individual, because they will destroy. And that's what these Rockefellers are, apart from being psychopathic molesters and prepared to do anything to maintain their control. You don't have to become murderous. You don't have to become a dark state. But when you start to get big and wealthy, I expect they do knock on your door. I'm sure there's a few people that have built great businesses and then get that call. We'd kind of appreciate you to do this. Come down and visit so-and-so. And I don't know how you handle it. You don't say, aren't you part of the dark state? Aren't you one of those control structure schmucks? I think I'd rather just carry on quietly on my own, leave me alone. I don't know. I don't know if they let you do that. Especially if you're a media house or a media shop, who knows? It would be a problem maybe worth having, but you've got to be real careful how you manage it. So silver and gold. Wow, have I got news for you? We're going to be sharing this. You should see what's going on inside our community. That's the Trading Metamorphosis program. I've got a big call subject, great draw from one of our students. All our best ideas come from you guys. I train you up, I let you loose, and you give me all my trades. That's what's happened. Big shout coming for silver and gold, and I'm afraid it's not bullish. So there you go. I've given you a little bit of a tip. That silver gold ratio is probably going to go higher and do a mini moon. The problem is when you have major reset, fear before they give you the solution of QE, which is good for gold and silver, you get the deflation effect. You get the downdraft. You get the cold in the room. Somebody left the flipping door open in Siberia. Guess what? Everyone pees their pants and feels real cold. And unfortunately, that's what's happened. So you dip first in the precious metals, and that's my take. Do you see a future battle of XRP, XLM? The comment I'll make, XRP versus XLM, is for me now, XLM is as a liquidity issue. I know about how little actually is in issue, 13% I understand. So the rest is all pre-mined. That's a lot of coins that needs to be floated in. So liquidity wise, it needs to be easier to buy. So on that sense, XRP's got the run. But deep down, I think XLM is going to play a big role and might overtake XRP, but they've got to do something about liquidity. So that's Nicholas's question. When silver gold boom? Not, I think I've answered that. Not yet, I'm afraid. I think you can buy it cheaper. Backs will sell it back to people next bull run. Exactly. That's the cycle. You see, when you control, this is the big control structure message. If I control the money, I care not who makes the laws. This is central. This is central to the Rothschild doctrine and the transgenerational wealth and the power. Because actually, once you reach a certain level of wealth, it's about power and making sure you never get it taken away from you, and making changes and having the world come to you and do your bidding. It's not actually about money. You print up them. They're like colored boxes of Smarties. You can have as many boxes as you like, and you can dump them on people's heads. You control that. And they're all, oh, Smarties, please, Smarties, please. It's like babies in the kindergarten all wanting Smarties, and you Mr. Smartie man. Apart from being a pedophile, you can stuff as many Smarties as you like, and you'll all dance to your tune. This is the thing. And the truth is, you've got to decide whether you give up your integrity for these printed up currencies, and they're not going to let us have our own, guys. Forget it. They're going to Trojanize everything, and that's what's happening. But we're going to get some folks shaken out in the bottom now, I think. And this is why my assessment is we're going to sell off. Got to keep watching it. We may get a hammer and just reverse and start pumping. Shorts still going down, by the way. I'm just looking at the charts while I'm speaking to you. Longs are gaining. Unfortunately, the retail guy on Bitfinex is off. That's this chart, by the way. It's that exchange. They have dropped immensely on volume, but they often move in the wrong directions at the wrong times. Let's have a little peek. Little bit of a rally coming through on BCH, I expect on BTC, so it's a hammer. So this has turned into a skittish moment that sells off, but is not yet the big uncle. It may not be the here and now, but I will just warn everyone to keep an eye. This does not look like bottoming. I'm looking at Gemini. I've got so many exchanges up, all just looking at Bitcoin through different exchanges, because which one is the true? Well, that's part of the problem. The biggest volume at the moment is Binance. What is BitMEX doing? We can have a look in there as well, because that's a derived one, but there's a lot of volume. It's a lot of fluff in there. We haven't run the 6.2 low. So essentially what's happened, Spill stopped on 6.2 on Kraken, grinding little bear flag, and then Spill stopped just before the low of the previous low. So you've actually got this after a major spill down. So what could happen next? Small rally, small little loop again, third low, another little bear flag rally, and then the big move comes. I'm speculating. This is called scenario casting. This is what we do. We're futurists of price behavior, and that's how you best understand about the elements therein. Anyway, let's answer 4 or 5 last questions, and then I'm going to let you guys go. And I hope you enjoyed seeing us live. Yeah, biggest vol is BitMEX, but it's a derived market, Adam. So just bear in mind, you're not actually trading the actual Bitcoin. You're trading a market maker's spread based on Bitcoin. So it's a derived. There isn't actual exchange. If you ask for your BTC, if you ask for delivery, you don't get it. Okay, so it is a derived market. Most markets actually, when you spread bets, if you use spread bets, for example, in the UK, are derived, but they loosely based on the price. And if it gets really extreme in volatility, it can become quite loosely, and the spreads can get quite wide. So you aren't always trading. What's up, Sniper? Yeah, all good. Nice to see you. Link for webinar. So what do you do? Just go to themarketsniper.com, hit get started, fill it in, And as I say, we might only end up doing this once. A totally different price point. You're talking about a third of what it normally gets. You'll get a self-study program, and you'll get live interaction with one of my highly trained instructors. Every weekend on a Sunday, you'll get me on non-farm payroll for FX and equity and crypto for 3 months. It's defined, it's short, it's a special, and it's to help get more retail traders up to a level where they have a reasonable amount of HVF method standing. And I know it's hard to find the top sometimes, the money. So that will give you a self-study environment. You can watch it as many times as you like. Get the basics, start applying it, and then you will buy your way in to the top club. So we're rolling out another rung in the ladder to help you get on the way up. It's not for everyone. You may hate it. All qualifications said. Do this only if it feels right. Come and attend. Doesn't cost you anything to learn, and I'm going to give you the formula for trading success. Not just for an individual trade, for an entire career of trading. And we're going to give you some examples of what we've done. I will show you P&Ls and what we've done. And by the way, we don't get it all right all the time. We absolutely don't. I tweet and I'm regularly wrong, and it is part of the game. And I'm quite ambivalent. So we don't get too excited about being accurate. It's great. And maybe a little brag tweet. Okay, blah, blah, blah. There's an element of marketing to that. But at the end of the day, it's the process over the long run that builds your wealth. So focus slightly longer term, and you're going to make the money. Forget about an individual Ferrari trade that overnight swings you. That is the fantasy, and you're in a fantasist state. If we can transition you from that, you'll be amongst serious traders that are looking to do that have invested strongly. Awesome bunch of guys. I love my community. Some of them will have popped onto the live feed here and are great. We've invested in a better platform. We're getting everyone off WhatsApps and Facebook stuff. We're utilizing our own environment. So what are the guys saying? Brett says, hi, Graham. So yeah, that's actually nice to see Brett coming on. One of our guys, why would you favor XLM versus XRP if it get the liquidity? Good question. Technically is the answer. Matilda Feist, thanks for your question. Why would I? No. First of all, fundamentally, I don't know. That's my default position. I don't know. I think it's the most honest and it's the most humble position. So the safest thing to say is I don't know. One thing where I have developed a skill, mainly due to longevity in the game and experience and cocking up loads, is technically building a probability-based assessment, which still is a probability-based assessment. So that means, you can still be wrong. If you're 51% right, it's a probability-based assessment in your favor, but only marginally. So technically, the XLM setup against both the dollar and the BTC, which are the two benchmarks I use, is better than the XRP. So I have a feeling something's coming fundamentally that will bring the truth to that technical aspect. So I'm completely dyslexic. I'm arse about face. I look at the chart and say the news will come to meet the facts that the money is showing me in the chart. Okay? The news will come to meet that. You will find out why. So whatever's a problem now, they'll keep the price strong on a small float in XLM, and then when we have a push and a pump, they'll maybe bleed some of that into it. But it'll be when everyone is insane and buying it, and they've released such awesome news that everyone and his dog is charging in like FOMO personified. And there'll be whatever, big flippening or whatever the case may be. And when you've got a fiat monster debt bomb like this, it's kind of like crypto's like a tennis ball in a corner of your room, and Jupiter is the fiat, so that tennis ball is going to have to expand real big. So that's the answer to that. Two more questions. Nas Francis, I love your style, thank you for live streaming. Pleasure, Nas. That's really cool. That's a light question, so I'll take another one. BTC USD versus BT USDT, now around 50 difference. Any comments, Francis? Well, that is, of course, the T part of that, Andy. And the tether element is there's still a bit of premium kicking around. So when we get back to, I think, 100%, last time I checked, I haven't checked that chart in a while, but it was around 98, so 97, 99, and moving up as that tether closes, should actually also take the exchanges back to full arbitrage. But there's still quite a reasonably wide difference. Come visit Whalepool, team speak at the Crypto Sniper. Yes, that's thank you. I've heard of that group. I'm just real sensitive. So let's say one thing just while you're all here, sort of like code of conduct about who I am. I was offered, particularly in the pumpy period last year, massive amounts of dollars, BTCs, to do favorable light interview chats with new ICOs and everything. I've rejected every one of them. I was in Dubai once, and I was working with a fund company, and I took the opportunity to interview the head of metal, and it's the only guy I've ever done. Hey, this sounds really cool. He didn't reply for follow-ups. Technically, the chart went really poorly thereafter, and I said, guys, it looks bearish for me, and I'm not getting any feedback. It's the only once that I've ever actually said, this sounds cool, and given airplay to someone, and I've never taken money. So be careful with these pools. I was also offered, hey, come and join our pump and dump club. He literally said it like that, it's like that. The word missing there is integrity. Okay, you sell out on your integrity and then you're done. You always are done. Make a mistake, be wrong. That's human. Sell out on your values and treat people that are trusting you and checking in, and you're done. You're always done. In my books, you're done if that's how I'm treated. So I expect it the same, and you should hold other people to the same. If people that pulled slide tricks never got another look in, I'm telling you, it would be a cleaner, crisper world. You should wash your hands. There's too many people, I just made a mistake, I'll never do it again until the next time. I do think there's scope for forgiveness, but truly integrity shouldn't be an easy question. So I watch out. I avoid those kind of pools. I'm not a tipster. The chart tell me all I need to know, and I come to my own conclusions. And our community, I train guys to come to their own conclusions. So I'm not a guru. I'm not saying, hey, listen to me, I'm smart and I'm better than all of you and you'll find out. I teach them a method and a transferable skill, and they can then implement and employ it and come to their own conclusions. So that's called enablement. That's fishing. Not being thrown the odd fish that's a bit stale and a bit jerky after I've had a chew on the good bits. And that's how I like it. And I actually don't talk about performance on my side. I talk about students' performance generally. I will on the webinar show a couple of wins, just because it's important if you're giving someone some time that you know that, okay, they made some money on the short side in the crypto markets once or twice. And that's all you will get to know. I've also lost a bit, and I'm quite honest about it. But generally, we made on the short side. And that was a huge boon. Let me tell you, the average result on crypto, I looked at NEM, the chart, and I'll show it again on the webinar tonight. Guys lost 96%. That was number 6. I went to their stand in Consensus June. They looked like stand-up guys. They had everything. They were talking and clean. They were serious. They were business-like. They had a developers team. NEM, New Economy Money, XEM, etc. like that. They were number 6 in the market cap. They lost 96% from their high. If you had 100,000 of NEM at the peak, around about the end of last year, beginning of this year, you would have $4,000 today. Come and watch that with charts and details later tonight. I've got to go. I've got slides to finish. Love connecting with you all. Thank you for your time. If you've enjoyed this, leave some comments, share the recording and all that good stuff. I'll do it also on the Market Sniper and the Crypto Sniper as well. Seeing some really interesting feeling things, both old world, crypto world. And there is a point where there is something that can be gleaned from both. So I'm going to say good night, enjoy, and see those that have the time. There will probably, if you record, you may be able to get a recording if you're going out tonight. Much better to be part of it live. There will be an offer and a linked certain amount of time. And it may well be a once-off. Okay, bye guys. Thank you. Enjoy, and see you again soon. And keep an eye out. It isn't over because we get a hammer and they buy back up the BTC. One of a few things will happen. It'll entirely bottom out, make some marginally lower lows, round out a bit, and go back up, and you get your BART sell-off and rounding. I'm not too confident that's the one that's going to happen. You get a continuation pattern set up. So this was the micro spill that puts another down leg, and you end up getting your squeeze again. And that points broadly on most instances to sell off again. And we are sitting waiting in a macro sell-off. I've been sitting for a while waiting. And every time I think it can't get any tighter in volatility, it manages to get tighter. So eventually that baby gets born. There's only so many false moments of events. And it's usually when you're at your most bored and you've given up. Okay, all the best to you, and see you all later. Thanks so much, and have a good evening. And by the way, none of it's advice. Always trade small. Always follow your principles. Don't do it if it doesn't feel right. Trading isn't for everyone. Look after yourself. Stay in the game. You can hurt yourself if you do this incorrectly. So be careful out there. Check and think, avoid an emotional rush. Now's really the moment. So just look after yourselves. It's a tragedy if somebody does some serious financial damage, and then you lose your head, and it puts you under pressure, and then it's a tough market, and then you've got to find an extra job. Don't do that. Really don't do that. I've done it before. It's a mistake you don't have to do. So blessings to you all. Bye for now, and we'll catch up again soon. I'll get this right. I'm pulling the plug and it ain't going. Still smiling. I'm pretty sure this is still broadcasting. There's an end stream button here, and I keep going. And it doesn't go. Operator error. I sense a bit of operator error in abundance here.